The air on the set of The View felt charged the moment Carrie Underwood walked in. She had come prepared to talk about her latest album, her tour dates, and the personal stories behind her music. Instead, before she even had a chance to settle into her seat, Joy Behar brought up the elephant in the room: the recent backlash Carrie had faced over a string of social media interactions that critics claimed showed her political leanings. Joy's tone wasn't that of curiosity, but rather of confrontation, and her opening line landed like a spark on dry grass. "So, Carrie, are you ready to address the, let's say, interesting company you've been keeping online?" Joy asked, tilting her head with a grin that could cut glass. Carrie, momentarily taken aback, forced a polite smile. She had known the topic might come up, but she wasn't prepared for it to be the very first question, sensing something was about to unfold. Joy pressed on without giving Carrie a chance to breathe, framing the issue as if Carrie had deliberately aligned herself with divisive figures. That was when Carrie's posture shifted. Her shoulders squared, her eyes sharpened, and the sweet, country charm she was known for took a back seat to something far fiercer. The polite guest was gone. In her place was a woman ready to defend herself. Asterisk, if we're going to talk about this, Joy, then we're going to talk about it honestly, Carrie said, her voice calm but edged with steel. The audience quieted instantly. In her chair, the corners of her mouth twitching upward as though she'd been waiting for this exact moment. "I have never used my platform to promote hate or division," Carrie continued, her southern drawl steady but firm, "and I don't appreciate you sitting here and making it sound like I'm some sort of villain because I clicked a button on a tweet." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, some in agreement, others clearly entertained by the rising tension. Joy shrugged, clearly not impressed. "When you're a public figure, every button you click sends a message," she replied, her voice dripping. With that signature mix of sarcasm and authority, Carrie's eyes narrowed. "And maybe the message I'm sending is that people should stop making snap judgments based on half the story," she fired back. "You, of all people, should know how damaging assumptions can be." Joy raised her eyebrows, as if amused by Carrie's sudden fire, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. Asterisk, the rest of the panel began to look uneasy, sensing that the interview had completely derailed from the promotional tone it was meant to have. Whoopi tried to interject, but Joy brushed her off, clearly invested in pushing this confrontation further. "Carrie, you can't have it both ways," Joy said. "Can't court controversy online and then cry foul when people call you out." Carrie let out a short laugh, not the joyful kind, but one that said she was done playing nice. "You think I'm courting controversy," she said, leaning forward. "No, Joy. I'm living my life, engaging with ideas, and I refuse to live in fear of what someone might say about it. That's called being a human being, not a brand." The audience erupted into applause, which only seemed to irritate Joy more. Carrie pressed on, "And maybe instead of sitting here judging people from a distance, you could actually ask why they think the way they do. That's how conversations happen. That's how understanding happens." Joy rolled her eyes. For the first time, her smirk faltered just slightly. Asterisk, understanding is one thing. "Carrie," Joy said, her voice now sharper, "but normalizing dangerous ideas is another." Carrie immediately shot back, and labeling every idea you disagree with as dangerous is lazy. The crowd gasped at the bluntness of her reply. Whoopi held up a hand as if to say enough, but neither woman seemed ready to back down. Carrie's tone shifted from defensive to resolute. "I've spent years building my career on hard work, honesty, and connecting with people from all walks of life. If you think a couple of clicks online defines who I am, then you don't know me at all, and you don't know my fans." Joy attempted to cut in, but Carrie kept talking, her voice growing louder over the applause that was now breaking out. "From various corners of the studio, my fans are smart. They think for themselves. They don't need anyone, not even you, telling them who to listen to or what to believe." That was when Joy leaned forward, her voice low but dripping with challenge. "And what about the ones you've lost?" The question hung in the air like smoke after a firecracker. Asterisk, Carrie didn't flinch. "If I've lost fans because I won't fit neatly into a box someone else built for me, then maybe they were never my fans to begin with." The audience responded with a mix of applause and sharp intakes of breath. Joy, however, seemed more determined than ever to keep pushing. "You're making it sound like everyone else is wrong, and you're the only one who's right," Joy said. "That's a dangerous place to be." Carrie tilted her head slightly, her expression unreadable. "No, Joy, I'm saying I know who I am, and I'm not going to compromise that to make strangers online feel comfortable. If that's dangerous to you, then maybe you should take a look at why." Even Whoopi gave a slight nod at that. Clearly, impressed by Carrie's composure under fire, the studio energy had shifted. It was no longer an interview, it was a standoff, with the audience fully aware they were witnessing a rare, unscripted television moment. Joy folded her arms, as if bracing herself for the next verbal swing, but Carrie was already in motion. "You've made a career out of poking people until they react," Carrie said, her voice calm but loaded with precision. "Maybe that works for some guests, but I'm not here to be your soundbite." The audience's reaction was immediate. Scattered cheers and whistles cut through the tense silence. Joy gave a small chuckle, the kind she used when she wanted to signal that nothing could shake her. But her eyes betrayed the irritation creeping in. "This isn't about me," Joy countered. "It's about accountability. Accountability works both ways. Joy, if you're going to sit here and publicly drag someone's name, you'd better be ready to stand behind every word you're saying, not just hide behind a question mark at the end of a sentence." The crowd clapped in agreement, and even some of the other co-hosts exchanged knowing glances. Joy was used to having the upper hand in moments like this, but Carrie wasn't giving her an inch. Whoopi tried once again to redirect the conversation. Back to Carrie's music, but Joy seized the moment to toss another grenade. "So you're telling me you don't regret any of it?" she asked, eyebrows raised. Carrie didn't hesitate. "No, I don't," she said, "because my values aren't determined by public opinion. I'm not running a political campaign. I'm living my life. And if someone wants to take a screenshot and twist it into something ugly, that's on them, not me." Her tone wasn't defensive anymore. It was steady, confident, and impossible to mistake for anything but conviction. Joy gave a tight smile, perhaps realizing that every attempt to paint Carrie into a corner was backfiring with the live audience. Carrie continued, "The truth is, I'd rather have 10 fans who truly know me than a million who only know a version of me they've been told to believe." That line hit hard, and the applause that followed drowned out whatever Joy had been about to say next. The tension didn't just hang in the air, it thickened, wrapping around the studio like fog. Joy leaned in again, determined not to lose ground. "But don't you think," she began slowly, "that as someone with your reach, you have a responsibility to be more careful?" Carrie's answer was immediate. "Careful, yes. Silent, no. There's a difference, and it matters." She let the words linger before continuing. "If I let fear dictate every move I make, then I'm no longer an artist, I'm just a product." Some members of the audience stood and clapped it. That, while Joy's expression hardened, "And if being a product means keeping my career safe, then maybe I'd rather risk it all to stay human." The sentence carried a weight that made even the other co-hosts sit back, watching the exchange unfold like spectators at a boxing match. Joy's lips parted, but no words came immediately, as though Carrie's response had thrown her just slightly off balance. By now, the audience was fully engaged, cheering after nearly every one of Carrie's lines. Joy attempted to regain control of the conversation by shifting to the notion of influence. "You inspire millions," Joy said, "and whether you like it or not, those millions take cues from you." Carrie didn't deny it. "You're right," she said, "and that's why I choose to stand for authenticity over approval. If that inspires someone, great. If it challenges them, that's fine too, but at least it's real." Her voice rose slightly, not in anger, but with the force of someone speaking from a place of deep conviction. "You can't build a career worth having by being what everyone else wants you to be. You have to be what you are, even when it's unpopular." The camera caught Joy pressing her lips together, as if weighing whether to keep going or let the segment die there. But she didn't stop. "What you call authenticity?" Joy said. "Some people call recklessness." Carrie smiled, a slow, almost amused smile that contrasted sharply with the tension in the room. "And some people call constant criticism journalism," she replied, "when it's really just entertainment." That line earned a loud gasp from the audience, followed by applause. Joy leaned back. "Know how?" And the personal stories behind her music. Instead, before she even had a chance to settle,